Disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before putting your money to work. With that out of the way, let's have some fun and enjoy the episode.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Rich Off Games podcast. This is your boy CB checking back in with y'all. Happy Money Monday. This is episode 41. And we're tuning in with you all today on this beautiful Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you all had a great start to your day. Without further ado, let's get right to it, man. Let's start out talking about a few of the stocks that we saw rally last week after CPI and PPI had cooler than expected reports on their economic data. So after reporting those reports and after seeing two particular companies report earnings, CoreWeave and SMCI, Supermicro, that triggered the market to rally, right? So we saw a lot of tech and memory companies, SanDisk, Micron, rally and go up later in the week. SanDisk starting the week out at 1,200, ending the week around 1,600. Currently up over post-market, seeing it up a little bit above where it closed at on Friday. What can we expect to see take place this week? I did talk about this a little bit in my market recap and market predictions video yesterday, so if you haven't checked that out, make sure to go check that out on YouTube. But I did mention our uptrend that we are seeing happen in SPY, and particularly its continuation higher. If we can continue higher, the way we continue higher is by closing above our previous high level and holding above that level with conviction to then see the market move even higher. Now, there are ways for day traders to enter and exit those kinds of positions. And so what you tend to look for is a break and a hold. That's option one. A break and a retest would be option two. And so a break and hold is essentially you see a break above the previous high level. So for example, the level being 780, you see a break above that level of 780. And then once it holds above that level, meaning a candle closes, whether it be the 5-minute, 15-minute, hourly, however long you choose to wait, you see a close above that level. Now you look to get into that position. And as long as it's holding above that level, you're in the position. Okay. Now a break and retest is a little bit different. A break and a retest is you see the break, you see it go further past the level, then you wait for it to pull back to that level. So come back down to 780. So it broke 780, it went past 780, went to 781 or 782, and then it came back down closer to 780. So it might hit 780 or it might be around 780.5, whatever the case may be. You're looking for a re-entry, a retest, and an entry on that retest. So those are two ways to get into the opportunity that you see happening in the market on the day trading side. On the long-term side, how much higher can the market go? The market can go a lot higher, actually. If we continue to hold this uptrend, we can see closer to 790. Tom Lee even predicted it seeing closer to 800 by the end of this month. We have only 2 weeks left for this month to be over with, so that is a very, very bullish statement. And I don't think it's the wrong statement. I just think that it would take a lot of, aggressive buying and aggressive demand in the market for the rally like that to happen. I definitely think it's possible, though. We've seen crazier run-ups in very shorter periods of times. We think about April, the rally we had in April this year and last year. We think about May, June, and really all of the last few months of this year. We've seen a lot of very aggressive rallies. So I would not be surprised to see the market reach 800 by the end of August. Realistically, I think that 790 is definitely within range, given that we're $10 away from that. But 800 is not out of the range either. It's just a little bit of an extended level that we could reach. And if we do reach that level, then I would definitely think that September would be setting us up for a potential pullback of 10% or even more because of the rally we've had leading into midterms. Typically, midterms is not the most positive performing time of the year for the stock market. And so with the rally we've been having, with the run-up we've been having, with the value add we've been having, I can definitely see the market pulling back going into September, late September, early October, and then rallying after the midterms and after October going into November, mid-November. we could then see a rally going into the end of the year. So that's my predictions on where I think the market will go. Now let's talk about some individual companies and what I think about these individual stocks that we're seeing move up in price. Starting out with NVIDIA. Should you buy NVIDIA? Now, NVIDIA hasn't seen much of any growth, currently up about 10% year to date. So it hasn't seen too much growth compared to the CPUs like AMD and Intel, compared to the memory companies like SanDisk and Micron, which we'll cover. NVIDIA hasn't seen that much growth, but it's been doing a lot of things in the public scene and private scene. It's been making a lot of moves. And so I think that at this point, NVIDIA has finally just leveled out and consolidated at this level so long that this is now a base. So this has now become a base around this 180, 190 range, and the 200 to 220 is the resistance range that we need to break above in order to see higher. How much higher can NVIDIA go? In my opinion, I'm still a buyer of NVIDIA, so I do believe that NVIDIA can see above 300, given it's the leading GPU company in the AI race and in the AI manufacturing race. And so with it being the leader of the AI factories and manufacturing of the factories and the main GPU that's being used for these AI factories, I believe that it has a lot more room to grow due to that. And not only are they just helping build the AI factories, they're also helping people get financing. They're helping fund a $500 billion deal with BlackRock and a few other major hedge funds to create what seems to be assets around your GPUs and your CPUs. So your computer tech is now turning into assets, and you're basically what they're trying to implement is allowing companies and people who have tech as money that they put into, deemed as value and deemed as an asset for you to get a loan against and use it as collateral. Crazy game that they're playing. And so now NVIDIA seemingly is trying to get into the financing space and offering financing for these products that they're selling, because they're only trying to help sell more of their products to consumers and to companies that need it. And so their way of doing that is by saying, hey, we're now allowing you guys to get loans against these products. So you don't have to worry about going underwater, going in debt because you can't afford it. You can just get a loan against it. If you're able to raise the capital, get that capital to buy the product, get the value from the product by going to get a loan against it to now buy more product. Genius. Absolutely genius. And it just shows you the level of creativity and opportunistic mentality you gotta have when it comes to business, because there's so many loopholes and there's so many solutions to someone's problems. So people can't afford the product. Okay, cool. We're gonna go find a solution for the product. We're gonna make this product a asset and not just something that's a liability for people and companies to buy so that they can continue buying more things. And so now you're allowing your customers to not have to worry about not being able to afford and keep up in the AI race. What an amazing thing. And there's a lesson in all of this. There's a lesson in just the level of intentionality you have to have. There's a level of creativity and creative thought you have to have behind the thing that you're wanting to create or put together and make solutions for anyone and everyone to redeem. You have to understand wealth is about solutions, solving problems, bringing things to the table that were not a thing before. So if I was not able to afford an AI GPU because I didn't have the funds for it, now I can buy an AI GPU from a loan that I'm able to get by buying the GPU. Amazing. So with that being said, I think NVIDIA is a company worth buying. Should you buy it at these current prices? Currently it's sitting somewhere around 220. I don't think that 220 is a horrible price to buy it. I think it's a good price to buy it. If I'm targeting 300, I believe that 220 is not a bad price. I don't think that it's a price that I would be interested in buying at because I've gotten at such a low price. I would want to see it come down lower or go higher and then come lower in order for me to get in around 220. So in order for me to get in around 220, I would want to see it reach closer to three. I say about three. Let's see, 20%, about 320 range in order for me to want to buy it at 200. So I wouldn't be interested in buying it because I want to buy at 40% discounts on the great investments that I like and love to buy. So I would want to buy it after it reaches 320 to come back down at 300 or 200 if possible. But given this market, given this rally and very demanding space we're in for tech, and specifically semiconductors, memory, and energy, I don't think that that's a reality that we'll see happen right now. Maybe a year from now, maybe a few months from now, but not right at this moment. I think that it's a very overly demanded market, a market that has a lot of demand and hype behind it. So we won't see those kinds of just drops and dips in the market as of right now. So I don't think it's a bad price to buy it. I think that if you can get it closer to where it was at a few weeks ago, 190, 180 range, that's great. But 220 to 200 isn't a bad range either. That's just not the best range. If you want to buy, you want to always look to buy the best prices possible. And so that's what I'm big on when it comes to my long-term investments. And then you want to have something, which we'll talk about in a little bit, is have an exit plan for your trades. If you guys want more tips and tricks about day trading and investing, make sure to click the link in the bio, www.continuebelief.com. I share a lot of free resources and tools, tips and tricks about how to day trade, how to get started investing, and so much more. So make sure you guys check out the link in the bio. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to leave a like and follow. And yeah, see you guys later. Which we'll talk about here shortly. But moving on, let's talk about Micron and SanDisk, because those had a really amazing rally this last week. Mentioning SanDisk, once again, we saw it go from 1,200 to 1,600 within less than a week. Amazing move. Should you be buying SanDisk? SanDisk all-time high prices are sitting somewhere around 2,400, so we are still far away from the all-time high prices, and analysts believe that it can reach past 2,400 as well. I personally think that SanDisk has a lot of demand. I mean, it's crazy to see the value that we have seen from SanDisk go from where it's gone, and I really feel like I missed out. And I know I missed out because it already happened. So SanDisk reached 2,400, okay? It came all the way back down to $1,000, and I did not buy it. I was not paying attention. I was lacking so hard. And that's a lesson for you all. Pay attention to the market. Pay attention to the opportunity. Stay diligent on the charts. Set alerts. Had I just set an alert of it reaching 1,000, then I'd be like, okay, cool. I know it's at 1,000. I can look to buy. I didn't even do that. All due to the fact that I was focused on other things. I was distracted. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on in the market at the time. And so I missed out on that opportunity. And that was an amazing opportunity. Even at 1,200, I could have bought it, but I didn't buy it. I didn't notice it then, but I didn't buy it. So that's on me too. But nonetheless, saying that to say, you gotta be diligent in this market. You gotta be focused. You gotta be very aware of where the money's flowing, what's going on in the market, what's making the market move, what's moving up, what's moving down. You gotta be aware of that. I was able to capture Microsoft, which I'm happy about. We were up a little bit on Netflix. I'm happy about that. But the big movers, the big macro movers, I missed out on, specifically SanDisk. So should you be buying SanDisk at 1,600? In my opinion, it's not a bad price. Like, it's still below the 20% discount range. So it's in the 20% discount range, 25% discount range. It was at one point below 60. Like it dropped over 60% of its value from that $2,400 to $1,000 level. So that was a really good discount to buy it at. This isn't a bad discount to buy it at, but seeing that it hit 1,000, for me personally, I would not be interested in it. I would want to see it come back down to 1,200 if possible. It's currently sitting somewhere, from a technical side, it's currently sitting somewhere around the resistance level of 2,700. And so I want to see how it reacts to that level first, possibly get a little bit of a pullback down to maybe 2,300 or 12 to 13 to 1400 if possible. And if we see that pullback, I would probably look to buy it then using 1200 as a stop loss, or we just break out and continue to rally, which is also very possible. As for Micron also had a really amazing dip, seeing a 50% drop from 1400 all the way down to around 750. Currently sitting somewhere closer to 1,000. And so, should you buy Micron? Micron is also still down less than 20% of its all-time high prices. I don't think that it's a horrible price to buy. Once again, I think that it's just not the best price. I'm always looking for the best price. So if I were you, I probably would hold off on buying it. But if I don't want to miss out, I would also, if I'm a person that would want the best price and I know I'm buying for the long term, I would hold off on buying a lot. I would buy a little bit, but not a lot. If I were the person who was impatient and really wanted to get in and not miss out on this rally, then I would look to buy some at this current price, because it can continue to go higher. Even especially given that the analysts and predictions of what is expected to see happen in the next 2 weeks. So that's just my 2 cents on the subject. Comment below your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about those 3 companies: Micron, SanDisk, and NVIDIA. Let me know if you guys are looking to buy them. Let me know if you guys did buy them and happened to get in at those great prices that we saw a few weeks ago. Because man, that was amazing. That was an amazing buy-in opportunity. Given the rally that we've been seeing this year, and then that pullback to have happened the way it did was really good. And I think that I was just distracted. That was just on me. We did capture a little bit of stuff, so I'm not too mad. But the big winners that have been winning, I missed out on that. So that's on me. Moving on. Today's investment tip of the week: have an exit plan. Have an idea of when you want to exit, and that goes for long term, short term, mid term, however long you choose to hold this position. If you buy something and you just buy it without an idea of when you want to sell, you're putting yourself in the wrong position, because now you're allowing yourself to be exposed to success and failure because you don't have an idea of when you want to sell. You got to understand there's ebbs and flows to the market. And with every ebb and with every flow, you got to know when is a good time to hold and when is a good time to go. I wasn't trying to rhyme right there. That's just how it came out. So have an exit plan with your trades, with your opportunities that you take, with your investments. That'll help you get further along in your journey of investing. Lastly, I want to talk about nuclear energy. Should you be investing into nuclear energy? Now, nuclear energy is believed to be a better solution for the energy we're seeing flow through the AI factories and the AI facilities. But the only issue, the only caveat for AI factories is, or not AI factories, but nuclear energy, is the time it takes to create them. It takes over 10 years to create a nuclear energy facility to sustain the nuclear energy and use it as a resource. So for that reason, I don't believe it is worth getting into. But there are some companies I want you guys to pay attention to for nuclear energy to be a good use for resource. So these are 2 stocks that I want you guys to pay attention to when it comes to nuclear energy and seeing the nuclear energy infrastructure continue to get better, because they are working on solutions to help nuclear energy be created in a faster, more efficient, and effective way, which will then be able to help AI. First ticker symbol is GEV, GE Vernova. Very good company when it comes to infrastructure around energy. GEV is currently up year to date over 54%. Very good company when it comes to nuclear energy, and it's very, very sustainable over time if we can see the nuclear energy infrastructure be created a lot faster. An honorable mention I have here is Next Era Energy. Ticker symbol NEE. Currently up year to date over 6%. Seeing a steady climb in growth. This company is fairly undervalued in a way that analysts see it being worth over 100 and still has a little bit more room to go. And so they just agreed to a deal that will help them expand gas distribution and help them also build out more nuclear facilities. And so Next Era Energy is a honorable mention. Last company that I would recommend buying that's also currently undervalued is Constellation Energy. Ticker symbol CEG. Currently down over 24% year to date. They're a strong buy in the space. They pay over a 15% dividend. Very interesting. Market cap somewhere around 100 billion. And yeah, they're just really undervalued when it comes to the nuclear energy idea. Like I said, with it taking so long and taking so much time for the infrastructure and the build out around nuclear energy, that is what is allowing this company to be such overlooked and undervalued, and money flowing out of it and going into other sectors like memory, like semiconductors. We're seeing a lot of the value go there. But once the story for energy increases, nuclear energy can also see a major benefit from these investments. And so these are a few companies I would recommend keeping an eye out for going into this next year that could be possible boomers, because we have seen a lot of AI demanding companies see very tremendous growth due to a realization that there is a lack of resources for AI to be capable of doing what they need to do. And the companies that lead those spaces are the companies that benefit the most. So these are the leading companies in the nuclear energy sector. So keep an eye out for those companies if you guys want to see some major value returns on your investments. But with that being said, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all for tuning in. I wish you all the best of luck on your journey, on your investments. God bless you. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Stay safe, stay blessed. It's your boy CB. I'm out. Peace.